Hey, what's going on, team? Happy Monday. It is January 4th, and what a eventful way to start the year. So it's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. And just like you guys see with the title, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard the news. At least BABA, or Alibaba, has been a very popular ticker that I personally have been paying attention to, and this was just after a couple months ago where they announced that they were under investigation, right? We've seen a significant drop on Alibaba since then, and now the question comes about, where is Jack Ma? So Jack Ma, and you guys, were not shy to correct me in last week's video where I said that Jack Ma was the CEO, or I referred to him as the CEO. He's no longer the CEO of Alibaba, but he is still, of course, the original founder, and he's just been a very outspoken CEO. He was, if I'm not mistaken, one of the top 3 wealthiest people in China, and in the past 2 months alone, he's seen a 20% drop on his overall net worth, if I'm not mistaken. He went from a little bit over $60 billion to a little bit over $50 billion. So there's no question that he's still rolling in the dough. So I'm not too worried about him in that aspect, but he has been missing or has not made a public appearance in the past 2 months. Based off of every article that I've read, as of right now, you guys could see based off of its current performance, Alibaba is down 2.46%. I really do not think that because he's gone missing that it's had too much of a negative influence on the overall stock itself. The overall market is down, and it's a pretty unfortunate way to start the year. But the thing that I kind of like about this is that the market's pulling back a little bit, which is of course healthy. So this can at least better prepare us for some better deals later down the road. So don't freak out. Watch that position size, especially if you're under the PDT rule. Maybe save those day trades, so if the market continues to sell off, you can begin to buy a couple more shares at a discounted price. So I'm not too sure what you're paying attention to as of right now, but one of the things that I am carefully paying attention to is, of course, how can we not talk about it? It's Tesla. Tesla's performance today has been absolutely insane. It had a huge push, breaking 180-day highs, and I'll show you guys this right now. Really all-time highs, not just 180 days, but made overall highs nearly at $7.45 a share, and then quickly pulled back. If you're part of the LPP group during today's live trading session, I sold all of my shares, and it was actually by accident. I normally always hold 50 shares, and I had 60 shares. So what I was planning to do was, hey, I'm gonna sell 10 shares as Tesla becomes overbought, and I'm just gonna wait for it to pull back, and then I'll buy another 50, I'll buy another 100. But as I went to sell, and I'm not too sure if this has just happened to me, because it happens to me almost once a week, and it's pretty funny when it doesn't happen to you, but it happens to me on a regular basis, and the LPP group laughs all the time. But there's an error message that pops up, and I made sure that I only selected 10 shares. I clicked off of it. I did click market order, and an error message popped up, and then it sold my entire position. So it sold my entire position up here. As Tesla then began to sell off, I began to buy a lot more Tesla at these lower price points. So I didn't get the best deal, but I got a pretty decent deal. And as it's pulled back a little bit, as of right now, if I'm not mistaken, I have 150 shares. My average purchase price based off of my buying and selling is right around 731. So it's not the best average purchase price, but again, I'm day trading it every single day, and then I'll at least leave 50 shares on the open when it comes down to holding it overnight. So nearly $2,000 on the day. As of right now, down a little bit as it pulled on back, but as we pick right back up here, I should be back up to the $3,000 mark if and only if, of course, it begins to pick back up. So I'm gonna make sure that moving forward, I'm a little bit more careful with my position size. But what started as a mistake of selling 50 shares ended up actually playing out in my favor, because I didn't have to ride those 50 shares all the way down here, which allowed me to allocate my buying power, buy a little bit more at a better deal, and then ride them back up. So this is again a perfect reminder on you should never be afraid to lock in profits. And that little mistake that regardless if Tesla continued to increase, I tried buying 20 or 30 shares shortly after, but I made sure that I was very careful with my position size. One of the things that I also do want to talk about is if you're freaking out right now and as the market sells off, friendly little reminder, what goes up when the market goes down for /NQ. This is just the way that I personally trade it. This is not a suggestion on what you should trade, but one of the things that we focused on today was SQQQ. SQQQ is a triple leveraged ETF. It's not for everyone, and it's definitely not for beginners that don't know how to manage their risk. This thing goes up when the overall NASDAQ market goes down. There's ETFs for a bunch of different areas in the market. This is just the one that I simply focus on, and I decided to lock in profits as we reached 619. And overall, made $643. My position was not super aggressive, as you guys can see that it went up 5%, but I only made $600. And one of the things that I'm looking into is taking a small position on TQs as we reach these oversold levels, just in case this thing begins to indicate signs of a reversal and begins to pick back up, then I can add more to my position size on TQs. And again, I sold my shares on SQs. But if this thing continues to uptrend and the market continues to sell off, at least now you know intraday what you can focus on what goes up when the overall market goes down. And then the last thing is, of course, Alibaba. I'm definitely not doing the best based off of its current performance, and I did hold a couple shares overnight. So I'm probably going to have to reduce my position size when it comes down to currently what it is that I hold. So you guys can see this right now. On the open, I'm down 1,900. On the day, I'm down 1,700. So right now I do hold quite a bit of shares at these like lower levels, but as soon as this thing begins to kind of like test the 230 area, I'll probably load off some of my shares. I'll be down about $700 on the day, and I'll simply call it a day. So a big area of opportunity for today. It was kind of just like a slap in the face for like a little reminder. It's great that we're starting off the new year overall in the green, but let's never be afraid to watch our position size and to lock in profits. And I think with the market just pulling back a little bit today is a perfect reminder of that. So we have nothing but time, so please don't freak out. Make sure you stay composed when you're taking advantage of these opportunities. And if you ever feel like you are getting a little bit too emotional, again, one of the little tips that I'd like to share with you is normally when I become a little uneasy with my positions, it's because I'm too heavily invested. So never be afraid to take a smaller position size, load off some of your shares and manage that risk. And it's a lot easier to manage your risk when you have a smaller dollar amount invested in whatever position you see as an opportunity. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I'm very excited to follow up with Alibaba. I wanted to share the news of Jack Ma missing for the past 2 months. It doesn't look like it's had a crazy negative influence on Baba itself, but it's definitely something to keep a close eye on. And of course, something to watch when it comes down to your position size, just in case, right? It acts as a negative catalyst, as if we look on the 180-day chart, Baba has been on a consistent descending pattern. So again, when in doubt, don't be afraid to pull out. So like always, team, continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be your driver and success. That's a little dad joke for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I upload new videos every single day. We also do have our free Facebook group. We have over 296,000 members, and that's that first link down below. If you guys want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, that's the second link down below. You can learn a little bit more about it, what we have to offer, and if you find our group to be a good fit for you, I'll see you tomorrow at Market Open. Until then, like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.